Here we go. I have an exclusive interview with one of the members of the Scramble 46 team out there that's blowing up social media. And we're going to not show his face so that we can keep his identity anonymous. But he is one of the players on the Scramble team. We're going to go through everything and find out the real story. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because the truth when it comes to social media and golf lives here. We're not a tabloid, we're reality. Let's get to the interview. On the line here, one of the gentlemen from the Scramble 46. And we are going to not reveal who it is, but we will go over everything. And sadly, this team has been getting hated on over social media by numerous people. So thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So quickly, just tell us some of the things that have happened post Scramble 46. I guess we'll call it Scramble 46.
Just a lot of internet hate. People trying to find out who we are, trying to message us. I've had people even harass my wife over Facebook who she wasn't even at the Scramble and had nothing to do with it. It's gotten to the point. I mean, this is the main reason why I'm even talking to you, is because it's gotten to the point where I have a genuine safety concern for me and my family. Some of the other people in our group haven't been getting so much hate because they don't have Facebook or anything like that. But for those of us who do have Facebook or other social media platforms, we've definitely been getting harassed quite a bit over this.
So tell us a little bit, what exactly was it? From what I understand, it's called the BYOB, Bring Your Old Buddy. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And what is this?
It's a charity. It's a charity scramble. From what I understand, the proceeds get distributed back into the local communities. I think they host a scramble at each of the RTJ courses down here, because there's, I think, 10 or 11 along the trail.
Okay, so it's on the Robert Trent Jones Trail. And
yes.
You were playing, and so there's multiple tournaments going on at the same time, correct?
Yes. So Hampton Cove, where this happened at, there's two courses. There's the Highlands and the River, and both courses had this tournament going on. So you got, I think there were about 30 on the Highlands. I don't know how many there were on the River course, but probably similar numbers.
Okay, so it's a charity event. You're playing at the Hampton Cove, correct?
Yeah, it was the Hampton Cove RTJ on the Highlands.
Okay.
The Highlands course.
And all right, so how much is it to get in this charity event?
It was either 80 or 85 a person.
Okay, not bad. And then you buy, what do you buy in, like in terms of advantages?
So they had mulligan packages. So each person can pay $20 for a mulligan package. That guarantees them 2 mulligans plus a throw, which a throw being a continuation of the shot. You're allowed to throw the ball and it doesn't count as a stroke.
Okay, so I've played a number of these. There's all kinds of different things you could get. Yours, for $20, you get 2 mulligans and a throw.
Yeah, so essentially eight mulligans and 4 throws a team.
All right, cool. And there's many some people buy rope on other events, not this one, or
yeah.
I played somewhere a long drive guy is hitting your tee shot 450 yards for you, and you're literally hitting your first shot from wherever they drive it to. So there's all kinds of different ways people do this.
This was not a straight up, no gimmicks, no mulligans scramble.
Right.
I think some people are I think that is where people are struggling a little bit, is they're seeing that score and they're just assuming that this was straight up.
So on those straight up scrambles, I've personally played in groups on straight up scrambles. We've shot 18, 19, or 20 under and still haven't won. And
Yeah,
obviously we think, okay, somebody's pencil whipping their scorecard or shaving some strokes but I mean, whatever. It's all for charity. It's fun. Who cares? But I've,
right.
but I've also been on teams where legitimately we're 19 and 20 under par on a straight up scramble.
Mm-hmm.
So the 46 is 26 under.
Correct.
And so when someone posts it on TikTok or whatever, it looks a little absurd just out of the
With
gate.
with zero context
Zero
about
contact.
the
Okay.
rules,
So,
and not to mention this tournament was played from the white tees.
okay, so you're
So
playing white tees. What's the yardage there?
6,000. I think it's 6,070. The tips, I don't have the so the scorecard that was going around. I think it only shows the white tees and in. It doesn't show the orange tees or the purple tees. I think the orange tees are closer to 67, and I think the purple tees being the tips, I think they're closer to 7,000 or maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
But this tournament was from 6,000 yards.
6,000 yards. And okay, what's your handicap typically?
So I don't have a USGA handicap. I keep track of my rounds through an app, but it's got me at a 9.
Okay, so you're a 9. How about the other players on your team?
So the older gentleman has been the main face of the video that people have been trash talking the most, he's actually a 6.
Okay, so
He
he's a
is
good player.
Yes,
I mean, nine's good too.
I will give it to the internet that just looking at him,
Right.
it shows that you cannot judge a book by its cover. Because looking, and this was my first time meeting him. There were two players on this team that I've never met before. I show up, I put my clubs on the cart, and I'm riding with him. First time meeting him, he doesn't look like a guy that can go out there and golf, but he is a six handicap who he might not be able to hit it long, but he can hit it straight.
Okay. Well, there's a
And
guy on social media called on Bob Does Sports. I don't know if you've seen it. He's called his nickname is Fat Perez. He's like a scratch golfer, and he looks, it's similar. So looks.
Yes,
don't mean
I've seen
anything.
some of his videos.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so you guys, you're for some. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. There's another guy.
Well, there's another guy on the team. I think he was another one that doesn't have a actual USGA handicap. So I don't know exactly what his handicap is. This was my third round playing with him. I mean, he's I think I would say he's better than me. He can hit it quite a bit further than I can off the tee. And he's fairly decent. So I would say he's, somewhere around that 7-ish, 8-ish.
Okay. So
handicap.
you have a good team
then,
scramble group.
Well, there's one more I want to mention because his name is not on the internet, and I'll explain why. So we had a scratch golfer, and this is my first time meeting him. He was a scratch golfer, who just can hit the crap out of the ball. I'm talking. I mean, his average drive is probably around 330.
Okay.
And the reason, we were playing. I was talking to him, and when he introduced himself, and I'm not gonna name his name because unfortunately he doesn't have to. He hasn't had to receive any of the hate that we've been receiving because his name isn't out there on the internet. But so we're playing, and he introduces himself, and I was like, why is your name not on, the same name that we're playing under? And he kind of walked me through. So he was another last minute fill in, and he played earlier in the year. He played at a different RTJ course,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess one of the rangers saw that he had brought outside alcohol onto the course, and he told him not to come back till the end of the year. So
So he's on
he
restriction, basically.
essentially, yes. So when he took this spot, and he was unsure if, because we were so close to the end of the year, he was unsure if the course was still upset with him and whatnot. So he just played under the name of one of the original guys that was supposed to be in the group.
Got it. So the name that the guy, so there's a guy on TikTok reading off the names. One of the names that's read off is not even the guy who was in the event.
Correct.
Got it. Now, because I saw there was a scorecard somewhere with a different name, and I was like, who's that? Because he wasn't listed, and that's the guy who actually played.
Yes.
Got it.
And
okay.
He's by far the best person I've had on a Scramble team.
So there's one poor guy out there getting hate, and he didn't even play.
Correct.
Oh my God. The guy's like, I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy who I mean, he was essentially our ringer. We basically took his drives on every hole. He had a lot of good approach shots.
Okay, so
we could not have done it without him.
That's hilarious. Okay, so with this particular Scramble set of rules, did they have the classic 2 drives from each player rule in effect?
Well, what do you mean, the 2 drives?
So sometimes you play a scramble and they're like, okay, it's a straight up scramble, which I'm assuming this was a straight up scramble with your mulligan package, where you just constantly keep taking the best shot. And then sometimes they have a rule, at least I've played in some, where they say, okay, everybody has to at least be responsible for 2 of the tee shots. Did they have that going on?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
The way it was explained, it was basically just a normal, you hit your tee shot, everybody hits their tee shot, and you continue to take the best shot.
Okay.
Therein.
And that's basically all the rules they gave you, and then you had your mulligan package, correct?
Yes. So when we bought our mulligan packages, we were explained, each person will get 2 mulligans and a throw that doesn't count as a stroke.
And was there a maximum score per hole that you could take?
Par. Yeah, it was pick up at par. Par. If you got to a point where par was your worst score, you pick up and move on.
Okay. So the worst possible score you could do is a par.
72.
72, par 72. Okay. We'll get to that a little later in this because that's important detail in this.
Yeah.
Okay. So now here are the big moments where people are really freaking out. Somebody got a hole in one. So you got your guy, the overweight gentleman getting the thing, and you hear 46, and then you hear someone got a hole in one on a par 4, and this guy's getting it all just was the perfect storm of internet nonsense, right?
Yes, and the thing is, it only shows, these videos only show 2 players, and you see one guy who doesn't look like he could, according to the internet, doesn't look like he could play golf, and that's the one.
That's the one they show.
Except in the gift card, but going back to why I told you our ringer didn't use his name. He stuck with one of the original guys' name
because he's suspended.
That was why he left. He left before any of this,
so that people wouldn't recognize him and say, "Hey."
He didn't want his picture taken. He didn't know if the course was, because we were so close to when they told him he was allowed to come back. He didn't know if they were going to be upset with him. So after we got done, he and our other teammate that he rode with to the course, they left. That's
This is a movie in the making. So the guy,
yeah.
the poor guy. So this is why these alcohol, man, someone's, being tough on the alcohol, bring your outside alcohol in. I've never seen someone get suspended from or put on restriction on a golf course for bringing in outside alcohol.
Yeah, well, they took it pretty seriously that day.
Man, it's worse than a
and they,
cruise ship.
I guess, yeah. Never been on a cruise.
Don't.
But
Okay.
that's why half the team
Bailed.
was not present at
Okay.
the end.
All right. So walk me through, let's just walk through some of the controversial holes because I think people need to understand really how you can score a 46. Now, on a straight up scramble, like I've said, I've shot 18, 19, 20 under. And
Yeah.
And on these mulligan packages, I mean, I was on a team. We shot a 52. One time we shot a 50 and we lost. And a matter of fact, we lost to a 45 before. So I've seen
Yeah.
these scores. I've seen like a 42, I think, one time. So it all depends on how much you want to spend or how much they allow you to spend in terms of mulligans or whatever advantages they have out there. But yours, to walk us
Correct.
through.
I mean, that's
take us through some of these controversial holes.
well, from what I've read in a lot of these comments, I think the two most controversial holes are 6 and 9.
Okay. And that would be
Which
your albatross and hole in one, correct?
hole in one.
Okay.
So
on a par 4. Take us through that.
So this was actually our back 9 because we started on hole 10.
Okay.
So we get to hole 6, which would be hole 15, I guess. We got 4 holes to go.
Okay.
We get to hole 6, and I'm gonna call our ringer Steve, just to make this easy. I'm not gonna give his real name, but we'll call him Steve.
Steve.
So he has been absolutely.
I'm not sure I understand.
Hang on one second.
Sure. Siri.
He's been hitting fantastic. Oh, you still with me?
Yeah.
Okay. He's been hitting fantastic tee shots all day, except for hole 10. He did put that drive in the water, and we ended up having to use one of our other teammates' drives.
Okay.
But we get to hole 6, and we still have 3 of our throws left and 3 mulligans.
Okay.
So he hits his tee shot, and we're about 40 yards from the front of the green, about 50. We used our rangefinder about 50 to the pin.
Okay.
So we decide, hey, let's use another one of our throws. So we use a throw.
Who throws it? Okay. Or Steve?
It wasn't. Steve didn't throw that one.
Okay, so
it was one of the other teammates.
One of the other guys. His name's on the internet, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he throws it, and he could not have thrown it any better. I mean, this ball rolls and stops about 2 feet from the pin. So we get up to the green, and we're getting ready to get out, and I'm like, all right, we only got a couple more holes to go. Should we tap that in for an eagle? Because, like I said, you got a drive and a throw. That doesn't count as a stroke.
So the throw does not count as a stroke.
No. So
you've only hit one shot so far. So
we've hit one shot, and we use the throw, and it stops about 2 feet from the pin. So we're deciding, should we just tap that in for an eagle?
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up being like, I think it would be kind of funny if we just dropped it in the hole for a hole in one. We still got 2 more throws to go.
You got 2 more throws. So now, were there any rules, or did anybody say, hey, you can't use 2 advantages back to back or on the same hole or anything like that?
That was not explained to us at all. If that was not allowed, that wasn't explained to us. But even with that being said, we probably could have found another spot to use that other throw to help make an an eagle somewhere else,
Either
and it
way,
still would have.
you still would have won with a 47, even if you didn't use that second throw.
Well, no, if we would have used, what I'm saying is if we would have used that throw somewhere else,
you could have got another stroke.
It still could have been a 46, even though we carded an eagle on the par 4.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
But we decided to use one of our other throws and drop that in the hole for a hole in one.
So not all that second throw also doesn't count. So you've only hit one shot. So
correct.
It's a 1.
So yeah, and nobody on our team is claiming that we hit a drive that went into the hole.
Right.
At no point did any of us actually say that. But the rules of this tournament, with what we were told with this mulligan package, we used the throws we used them in situations that we knew it would help us gain a stroke.
Of course. And I've seen, to be fair, and people who are watching this or listening to this, I know so many people who, even with their mulligans, they'll hit, like I've seen groups, they all hit a second ball, like all the time. And then if they don't play their mulligan, they don't count their mulligan, which is totally illegal. But so many people just do that. But you guys didn't do that. You just used 2 throws back to back. You're playing within the rules as far as you know them.
Yeah.
And guy had an awesome throw, so you took advantage of it with the 2 throws back to back. You only hit 1 shot. Yep. That's a 1 on a par 4. Totally legit.
Yeah.
There you go.
So then we get to hole 9, which is our last hole. It's our 18th hole, hole 9.
Okay.
It's about 450 yards uphill, par 5.
Okay, so 450 par 5. And now for pretty much everybody, that's a mid-range par 4.
Right. But it is uphill, so it is playing a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
But Steve hits a perfect drive, he's a long hitter. We're 150 yards out.
So he hits it 300 yards. You got 150 left.
Correct.
Beautiful.
So we can't see the green. We get a good line as to where the green is. We still got 3 mulligans and a throw left. So all 4 of us, we hit our shot. We know we've got 2 or 3 of them that are going towards the green, but we don't know exactly where they end up. So we decide, let's use the rest of our mulligans since this is our last hole.
Of course.
So 3 of us hit 1 more shot. We get up to the green. We see, I think it was 4 or 5 of those 7 were on the green. One of them ended up being about 4 feet from the hole. So we decide, okay, well, now it's time to use our last throw. So we threw it in the hole for a 2.
For a 2.
Never at any point did we hole out from the fairway. We did not hole out at all this round. But
No
these rules that were in play allowed us to, when we were close to the hole, to drop it in the hole to save a stroke.
Right. Of course, I would have done exactly the same thing. So you're playing by the rules. You hit it close, which that happens all the time. And then you use your throw, and it's a similar concept to the rope, where if you bought rope, people buy different, lengths of rope. Everybody knows that. And then if you hit it within 4 feet and you have 4 feet of rope, you snip off your rope and you count the previous shot as going in. And the throw is essentially the exact same thing, except it takes a little more skill. You got to actually, but you're so close, you just kind of reach over and toss it in.
So we used them in situations that we thought we could benefit from, and we did, and we capitalized on that. The other throw, so I think there was a par 4 where we also got an eagle on that also involved a throw.
Okay, and that would have been your third throw or something.
Which I think we used that on our front 9. I think it was hole 14. Okay. So we carded a 2 on that par 4. Well, that ended up being an approach shot that was within 3 feet. So we dropped that in the hole for a 2 instead of a tap and birdie.
Okay. And then the rest of the holes, how were those? Obviously, you guys can putt. You're hitting greens and you're making some good putts.
We made more putts than we should have. I'll put it at that. I've never been in a scramble where we made that many putts. We had to use, I think there were 3 putts. There were 3 putts that we had to use mulligans on. We used 4 mulligans for those 3 putts.
Got it.
Two of those putts, we used a mulligan and ended up making it. The other one, we used a mulligan, we missed it. We use another mulligan and we make it. So three out of 4 of those mulligans helped us out too.
So every
with the
one,
putts.
yeah. So every one of your almost every one of your mulligans counted as a shot, and every one of your throws.
Every one of our throws helped us. If there were no throws in play, our score would have been 50. It would have been 22 under, which is the equivalent of birdieing every hole and eagling every par 5.
Right.
But we got a guy on our team that almost, except for number 10, because we didn't use his drive, we were 130 out on hole 10. We used my second shot, which ended up being about 6 feet.
And then you make
to the
a
pin.
6-footer. Yeah.
We make a birdie. But other than that, there may have been one other hole we didn't use Steve's drive.
Wow.
Our old guy, he got to play from forward tees, but he teed off maybe twice because we were still able to outdrive where he would have hit it to.
Interesting. Okay. So this happens. Any scramble I've ever won, obviously we made a ton of putts. But you know, and then things just went our way. And so it seemed like things went your way. And
it did.
And it all came together, and you took advantage of the throws, and they all paid off for you.
Mm-hmm. And we capitalized on mulligans. I mean, we were making putts, and we even had a couple of those putts where, you know, your first person goes and he hits it a little bit too hard, but it finds the back of the cup and bounces in. You know, one of those that you just have to laugh about it. Like, how did that go in? But it went in.
It's just your day. And
but
I think people forget this is a charity event.
Yeah.
You're raising, so you're not only are you paying to play the tournament, but you're buying the mulligan packages, which support that charity. And so everybody has an opportunity to buy the mulligan package. You know, and some people choose to be cheapskates and they don't buy it all. Only one guy buys it, or, you know, but whatever, it's $20. Most of the time, everybody's going to buy it. What place do you know was second place?
53, I believe. So 19 under.
Okay.
And I think on the other course, I think 51 was the leading score.
Right. And the tournament, BYOB, bring your old buddy. Was it older? Were people mostly older people playing?
I mean, there was a wide variety of people there, but there were a lot of older people there too.
Okay. So I wouldn't expect them to shoot as low of a score, but you had an older, larger gentleman on your team too, but he would just happen to be really good. Yeah. And then
I wouldn't have expected us to shoot such a low score.
Well, when it's your day.
Exactly. I've played in scrambles before, and you know, I think we're having a good round, but we haven't come close to even touching that number. But everything was happening. There was one point we were, I think, 6 or 7 holes in, and I texted my father-in-law, and I told him, I was like, I don't know how I did this, but I just made 3 15-footers in a row.
That's awesome.
Not anything I would ever do, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But on a separate note with Steve, since we took his drive on the vast majority of the holes, with this course being as short as it was from the white tees,
yeah,
for most of these par 5s, we had probably a 50 to 80 yard shot into these greens. And on 3 out of 4 of the par fives, we were 150 out.
So that's a given. I mean, it's obviously going to be a birdie with 4 guys, especially 4 guys that are like single digit handicap. It should be a birdie every time.
If somebody can put a good shot on, all you need is one good shot from there. And
if these guys can
the longest putt we may have had all day was around 15 to 20 feet.
That's solid. And then
I've never done that in a scramble, but from 50 to 80 yards on almost every par 4 and 150 on 3 out of 4 of the par 5s, we ended up, somebody had a good shot that put us within that range. And so we were making our putts. We made more putts than we typically would, but we made them. And for those putts that we missed, it only took us 4 mulligans to get the other three putts back, and we capitalized on that.
I love it. So okay, so then the tournament ends. You guys turn in your card. There's all that. We see the Clubhouse video, and that's the one blowing up over social media. But you were saying to me earlier, there was one team that really gave you probably the most grief out there at the event afterward.
Yeah. So me and like I explained why 2 of our teammates left already. There were still 2 of us at the pro shop. You know, I'm hearing people talk so much crap on this score. It's unreal how much crap everybody was talking.
They're talking all the crap. But what did you win for first place?
$50 in store credit.
$50 shop credit. So you pay basically $100 to win $50 shop credit.
Yeah.
So you get like a case of balls or something if you win.
Yeah, we didn't even I mean, if I were to use that gift shop credit to buy that, yeah. The best prizes of the day was the raffle. They were giving away golf bags, Odyssey putters, Callaway wedges, drivers, 3-woods,
all the good stuff. Were raffle tickets separate, or did you get those when you, let's say, bought the mulligan package or something?
They were included with the mulligan package.
And how many raffle tickets did you get
total? You got one raffle ticket per person. Yeah.
So you're saying there's more incentive for you to somehow rig the raffle selection than to actually rig your playing in the tournament. You would actually win more if you cheated somehow and won the raffle.
Yeah, the real winners of the day were the people that walked away with a brand new Callaway driver.
And you walk away with all the hate.
I walk away with a gift card and a lot of people that are spreading hate and harassing you, your family, for $50.
Yeah. And they don't know any of the rules or anything that went down.
Yeah.
And the one team that's hazing you, carry on with that.
Well, I'll get to that, but
okay.
So we're up at the pro shop before they're announcing the winners, and I'm hearing people talk so much crap, and I hear one person ask I think it was an assistant pro at the clubhouse, like, how are you going to let this happen or whatever? And the assistant pro looks at this guy. He's like, my team shot 48 last year. It's possible.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But essentially, they announced the winners. You know, everybody starts booing, and it was really it felt like just a hostile environment. Of course, I'm not going to want to just stick around after that, especially with half the team already gone.
They fed you to the wolves.
Yeah. So, I walk back to my car. I put my clubs up, and I go to talk to our older guy. And I asked him, I was like, should we have just added strokes to our score to make everybody happy? Like, no, that's what we shot. It should be something to be happy about. And at that point, we get somebody that pulls up with a video camera, basically asks, well, why didn't you want to stick around? Why didn't you want to stick around for a picture? You guys won. Why didn't you want to stick around for a picture? And I didn't know what to say to him at that point.
Right.
I played the best scramble round I've ever played, something I should be happy about, and I'm being made to feel embarrassed about it and not welcome there.
That's horrible, man.
But the guy that was so upset that he wanted to film us, they got last place.
And what did they shoot?
Even par.
And we talked about this at the beginning. What was the worst possible score you could shoot?
Even par.
Even par. That means they made 0 birdies.
What baffles me, I don't know how you could go out with 4 guys on, playing from those white tees with 8 mulligans and 4 throws that don't count as strokes. How do we not have one shot that's anywhere near the green to where we could toss it up near the hole for a tap and birdie? How does that not happen at least one time?
It's so ironic that the worst players are the ones that are most upset, and everybody destroyed them in the event, and they pick on you guys when they know, when they're so far out of it. They just have to do whatever they can to make themselves feel good about themselves.
To the point, but to the point where you're trying to put someone else on blast and ruin their life, even though you didn't even witness them play.
Well,
it makes no sense to me. I've played in scrambles where, I saw the winning, and I'm going to be honest, I had my team shot 53 in that tournament. I saw 46. I probably would have thought it was unbelievable too. I may have been a little bit upset, but I'm not going to go and film them and put them all over the internet to try to ruin their lives.
Well, that says more about who they are than anything else, because people who do that kind of stuff, they really have nothing better to do other than harass other people. I mean, these are I'm going to chase you down and road rage people. That's the type of people you're dealing with there, that they just can't handle it, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And I think even the tournament itself should be held somewhat accountable for allowing, you guys to be, put out there on social media and harassed in such a way that it's just totally unfair without context. It's even unfair if there was context, because we're getting context and we realize this is totally legit. Like, if there was something fishy here, like, I mean, I would call it out and say, hey, maybe you guys pencil whipped a score here, or you took multiple mulligans. But talking to you and hearing about the whole thing, it seems very legitimate. And I've been on the receiving end of, we've had great days on the course playing the scramble, and someone comes in and they're just like, whoa, they blew us away. And then it's over and over and over that happens. But we just sit there, laugh, have a drink in the bar, and go about our business. It's all for charity. Like, I think at the end of the day, we got to realize, who cares? It's for charity.
It was a charity. It was a charity scramble. This was not a straight up scramble for thousands of dollars. There were mulligans included. There were extra rules that allow you to,
right,
help your score out quite a bit. And if you've got guys on your team that all it takes is, one good approach shot, and somebody to make a putt. And if you capitalize on those, it can happen. I mean, had we not had mulligans, had we not had throws, our score would have definitely been 8 or 9 strokes different.
Yeah. That's fair.
The other mulligan we used, let's see, it was hole 17. It was the longer of the 4 par 5s. It's
Okay.
one that, I mean, I played this course quite a bit, and it's one that I wouldn't even think about going 4-2. You know,
Yeah.
with my tee shot, it's over water with your second shot. You know, I'm typically more than 230 out when I play, so I don't even try to go 4-2. But Steve hits a great drive, and we're 190 to the pin, and it's 180 yard carry. So our older guy, he plays it safe. He pushes one down the fairway.
Just lays it up.
Yeah, us three younger guys, we decide we got another our second shot in play. We're going to go for it. So we each hit our shot, and I think I skipped it and dunked it into the water. The other two came up short. So Steve was like, all right, I'm going to use a mulligan. So he drops the ball. He hits a beautiful shot to about 10 or 15 feet. And we made that for eagle.
Yeah. Then you got 4 looks
So
at eagle.
had we not used a mulligan there,
Mm-hmm.
we would have had to have gone with our older guy's shot. So, you know,
Birdie at best.
there's no birdie at best, maybe par. So I would say easily, if there were no mulligans and no throws, it's about 8 or 9 shots probably different.
Well, I appreciate the insight into this round. It's definitely one of the most exciting, controversial things happening on the internet right now in the world of golf. And
It's
sadly, people have no desire to get context.
exactly. I've been scrolling through the videos, and I've been trying to stay as distant as possible from it, but it's obviously a hot topic right now. But I think I've seen one positive video of a guy who went out, and he's, you know, before he's playing the scramble, and beforehand he's like, all right, we've seen the video. Today I'm playing in a scramble with similar rules, and we'll see what we shoot. And after he posts that his team came at 22 under, the winning team took 24 under, and he was like, you know, with the throws and with the mulligans, it's possible.
100%.
And that was one of the only positive things I've seen somebody say about this, because there's been no context really about it.
None. And that's why I'm grateful that you hopped on with me here so we could talk through it, talk about it. Because I knew, just seeing the score, I knew there were some advantages you could buy, mulligan packages, whatever. You know, we had, and I just, before I did anything, any podcast or anything on this, I felt like, man, I got to get the real story. And I just appreciate you know, allow me to at least record this. Sorry for all the hate you're getting, and I don't blame you. I'd keep my face out of everything too. I wouldn't want my family to go through what you're going through, and I can sympathize on some level, just being, you know, in the space. Things like this happen, but for guys like you and your team that don't, you know, you have other jobs, other careers, other things. You don't step into this social media space, and to be thrown upon you is jarring and shocking, and it's difficult.
And I love golf. I love getting out, you know, on a Saturday and playing. Like I've got a group of people that I play with every weekend, and it's a large group, and like with all this hate surrounding it, I don't feel like I'm even welcome to show my face around them. You know, I feel I'm being made to feel embarrassed by this. I don't feel like people are saying we shouldn't be allowed in scrambles ever again. Like I don't feel like I can go out and play a scramble right now because somebody's gonna see my name, even though I probably played the worst out of everybody on the team, and I was a last minute sub.
Well, if I'm a beer company, I'm sponsoring all you guys, because for whoever got kicked off for bringing, what did he bring on, by the way? What alcohol did he bring on that got him kicked out?
I didn't ask him.
Because we'll send a case. Find out. Let me know. We'll send a case of whatever he had to all you guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, man.
It's affected me and my family so much that it makes me not want to get out there and play, which sucks because I love getting out there so much, especially with the scramble. As much as I like playing golf, getting out there with, even though two of these guys I had never met before, getting out there with your buddies and not having to worry about hitting a bad shot. You got three other guys to help you out. If your first guy puts one in the fairway, hey, I can swing as hard as I can on this shot, and if it goes OB or goes in the water, we still got something to fall back on. I love that type of atmosphere, and with the amount of hate that's going around, I don't feel like I'm welcome to go out and enjoy that.
Man, well, I'll play with you anytime. I'm sorry you're going through that, and it'll blow over. Hopefully this will, shed some light and some people can like realize, hold on, we got to be a little more careful before we blow people up and put them on blast, like you said.
And don't judge a book by its cover. Just because somebody doesn't look like they can play golf doesn't mean they can't. With him being a 6 handicap, a lot of these trolls out there that are saying that he wouldn't be able to golf, he could probably go out there and beat them one-on-one.
Oh,
from his expected team.
Yeah, I know. Those are the guys I don't ever gamble against, because I lose money every time. You judge somebody, they got the towel hanging out of their back pocket, they got a clip on their belt, keeping score. Like, I stay away from that. It's just, it's never good. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time, and I wish you guys all the best.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you having me on. I really feel like what actually happened needed to be heard. And I honestly was trying to just let it blow over, but with the amount of hate we're getting and people, harassing us over the internet, for the safety of my family, I feel like this is something that needed to be heard.
It definitely needs to be heard. So hopefully people will understand and realize, like, hey, let's be above that kind of stuff, and that's what my channel's about, like my podcast channel. It's like, I don't want to be the tabloid here. Like, let's get the real story. Let's get the truth out there so people have full context of everything, and be above that, especially in the social media space.
Just be an adult and just be nice to people.
Right.
You don't know what everybody's deal is. To take time out of your day to go and harass somebody that you have no idea who they are and what actually happened that day, it's quite shocking to me.
It's horrible. Well, there you go. I'm sorry you're going through this, my friend. Stay positive.
Right.
You'll be.
I'm trying.
You're a good
man. Taking it a day at a time.
Thank you.